We've got some breaking news. The Browns have reached an agreement with Amari Cooper on a new contract. We're going to go through all the details on today's show. But on the first day of training camp, the Browns and Cooper get it done. It's a good relief. I wasn't very stressed about this. I don't think anyone was. The Browns were very vocal about wanting Amari Cooper here. Amari Cooper clearly was vocal about wanting to be here. Not vocal, but an actions speak louder than words example by skipping mandatory minicamp. Ultimately, both sides get to an agreement at the start of training camp. Amari Cooper does not have to be subject to $50,000 in fine for every day of camp he missed. So, big exhale, got it done. Knew they would get it done, but still, you want the news, right? I wouldn't say it was expected news because you didn't quite know what to expect, but you knew something would get done. And for the Browns to get it done on the first day of training camp, just get it behind them. You don't need that headache or distraction for the rest of the summer now. It's a big win for both sides here. So I want to congratulate Amari Cooper, and I want you guys to join along with me. Spam 2 for me down in the comment section below. I had to put my Amari Cooper jersey on for this live show today. So let's show the guy some love. He's been awesome to the city of Cleveland. He's been awesome to this team since coming over from Dallas. So show the guy some support. Drop a 2 for me in the comment section. I can't guarantee it, but I think whoever spams 2 the most is entitled to 1% of his contract. It's just 1%, so he won't even notice that. So I'm not going to guarantee it because I haven't had Amari Cooper guarantee it to me yet, but he just got all of his money guaranteed, so I don't think he noticed 1%, right? That's like the Ryan Howard from The Office idea. Just every time someone swipes a credit card, he gets 1%. So, spam 2 for me. I got Ray bidding in the comment section. Ray, always great to see you. Cool guys here. Haven't seen Time Man. I got Mick. I've got Kathy typing in number 2. We've got Robert typing 2, Soul Train's typing 2, David's typing 2, Love It Thomas, Love It Nolan. Get those 2s in the chat for our guy Amari Cooper. That's awesome, right? He gets an extra $5 million in incentives, which I have not found what he has to do to reach those incentives. But if they're anything like what he did last year, my guess is it won't be tough for him to pick up a few extra $1 million on the season. Anthony's in the chat. We got 130 people watching already. Go ahead, hit that like button if you haven't already. I know people forget to do that from time to time, but it would mean a lot to me if you could like the video. It does help promote the channel, bring more eyeballs over here, more eyeballs, more subscribers. That means I get more studio space. That means you guys get more content. And to believe it all started with a simple like. All right, with that being said, grade the Amari Cooper contract restructure, though. I did see some people push back a little bit on it. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F in the comment section. Levi Mayfield, ladies and gentlemen, with a $5 super chat. Trace, let's go to that super chat in a moment, but we do want to tell everyone about our great sponsor today, and I don't want to forget. So, before we get to Levi's super chat, we do want to tell everyone about our sponsor for today's live show, which is our friends Game Time. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. If you love summer baseball and want to catch, say, a Guardians game or any other major league team, you're going to want to give Game Time a shot. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. One thing I really like about Game Time is their flash deals. Save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or event. Plus, they offer the Game Time guarantee. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHAT Sports for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, shout out to Game Time for supporting us here at Chat Sports. Go support them as well if you enjoy what we do. But shout out your city for me as well. We're going to look at Levi's Super Chat in just a moment. Producer Trace Gerard is running around like a chicken with his head cut off trying to get everything ready for us because we had to expedite today's live show. We usually go live an hour from now, but when duty calls and news breaks, we don't sit on our hands and wait. So go ahead and give me your city shout-outs in the comment section. Ray's watching from Phoenix. Kathy's in Sacramento. Robert's in Kent, Ohio. Anthony's in Youngstown. Levi's in Rock Creek, Ohio. Cool Dude JT's in Toledo, Ohio. Greasy Flight. I haven't seen Greasy Flight in months, but that's the offseason for you. He's watching from Thunder Bay, Ohio. Kimberly's in Lincoln, Nebraska. Soul Train's in Orlando. Blake is watching from Jacksonville, Florida. But here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woof, woof. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woof, woof. I love it. William Schur is watching from North Carolina. Fat Gaming's in Cleveland. Can you move a weigh-in over for me? It's the one that's titled Announcement. Thank you. And then throw that on next, please. Levi Mayfield. Coop. I've always been a bit, against the chance of just dragging out a letter by the crowd because a lot of times it sounds like boos. From TV, it sounds like boos. Coop's famous for this. Heath Miller from the Steelers. Freiermuth. It does kind of sound like boos. And if you're in the stadium, it's awesome because you know what's going on. If you're watching on TV, you're like, did I miss something? Was there a bad call? Oh, no, that's just Amari Cooper. They're changing.
I remember after the Rangers lost in the World Series a few years ago, the following year,
a decade ago.
A decade ago. It was a while back. It feels like it was not that long. But anyway, I'm so used to losing. The Rangers lost in the World Series about a decade ago. The first game back, I remember watching opening day and everyone yelling, Cruz for Nelson Cruz.
Yeah.
And if you remember, he dropped a ball in the World Series, and I was like, are they booing him?
That's kind of the
I was confused
with Coop. We got a super chat rolling in from James. We'll put that on in a moment, but first, I see a lot of people are tuning in from the Cleveland greater area. We got a lot of eyeballs with us right now, so quick plug here. We're going to do a Browns Report meet and greet not this upcoming Thursday, next Thursday, August 1st, 12 p.m. Eastern at Masthead Brewing Company in downtown Cleveland. So come hang out with us if you want to grab a bite to eat, have a drink, talk brownies. I'll be hanging out at Masthead Brewing Thursday, August 1st, 12 p.m. Eastern. Would love to see a boatload of brownies there. So come hang out and we'll talk football. James Harper, next one up on the show. What's going on, James? Season's coming together. Can't wait for the watch parties. Super Bowl bound, sub for dubs. Sub for subs or sub for dubs. James, shout out to you, man. It's training camp now. It's preseason next. And then I'm already closing my eyes at night and picturing exactly where I'm going to be sitting at my local Buffalo Wild Wings for Thursday night, week 1, Chiefs Ravens.
At this point, it's like a standing tradition.
I am a stand for B-Dubs. I would love for them to be a sponsor of ours. So B-Dubs, if you're watching, hook it up. But I love watching Thursday night and or Monday night, but mostly Thursday night at Buffalo Wild Wings. There's just something right about sitting in a local B-Dubs with 15 of your closest strangers watching the Titans and the Jags throw down. I need that in my life right now. James, appreciate you as always for the super chat. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woof, woof. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woof, woof. Now, we're going to jump into the Amari Cooper news. If you have not liked the video yet, make sure you go ahead and do so. We got to have game time in the Amari Cooper one, by the way. So, I can toss it right there. You guys get to see me working on the fly. Josh, is it okay if we get you to super chat in just a moment? 10 minutes, because Trace got the whole video ready, and it'll take a moment to undo everything he just did. So, I think we're ready to rumble. Are you ready to rumble? Could you give some shout-outs? I just want to send one thing in production.
Hey, if you guys are pumped up about Coop sticking around for a little bit longer, can you just type Coop in the comment section?
I hate to be Debbie Downer. He's not sticking around any longer than he already was. I don't want anybody confused, that's all. So,
no,
not that Trace is the Browns
that's
guy.
on me.
They did not extend his contract, which is a very important thing to note that I'm going to note in a moment. But if you're pumped about Cooper being richer, that's an important thing to be excited about.
That is very true.
Yeah.
So, shame on me. I built all the graphics. I didn't pay attention to what they were saying. But everyone type Coop in the comment section right now. Nolan, Cool Guy, Joshua Miller, Kathy, Ray Bidding, N.A., Kimberly Hurst, Shout out to all of you. Ronnie, Soul Train, Cool Guy, Cold Zone, Robert Corral, Fat Gaming, Brian Castro, American Cheese. That's awesome.
All right, I'm ready now.
All righty.
Here we
Whenever
go.
you're ready.
Let's break down the Amari Cooper contract. Not extension, but restructure, which I don't like, on a side note, how we use the term restructure to describe multiple things that are very different. So that's my own personal contract firefest. Here we go. The Browns and Amari Cooper came to an agreement on a new contract for the final year of his pre-existing 5-year deal. And we're going to break it all down on today's video. But initial reaction right off the bat is, this is your win-win scenario. The Browns kind of get what they were gunning for the whole time. Amari Cooper may not get ultimately what he was searching for, but he definitely comes out a little bit richer than he was just 24 hours ago. Now, before we get any further in today's video and breaking down this contract restructure, not extension, this is why you subscribe to the channel, though. When breaking news like this happens, we're live on the channel. We're getting a video. We're getting a short out to you. I'm tweeting about it. We're going to do our absolute best to make sure you guys are in the know for all things Cleveland Browns. So go ahead, do me a favor, and hit that subscribe button down below. Help us reach our goal of 35,000 subscribers strong here at the Cleveland Browns Report. Now, Jordan Schultz was the first one I saw to report the news that the Browns and star wide receiver Amari Cooper have agreed to a restructured 1-year contract, guaranteeing his $20 million and adding an additional $5 million per multiple sources. When I saw this, the first thing that popped in my head was, this is a win for the team, maybe a little bit more so than the Browns. I was never nervous about this potential standoff, because it always felt like both sides were motivated to come to an agreement, but the Browns were more hesitant and reluctant to add more years onto a contract for Amari Cooper, which, by the way, he still has 1 year left on his deal, and he will still be a free agent unless an extension happens later on at the end of this season next spring. So, for the Browns, they avoid, which I think they were trying to avoid all along, which was adding more years onto a 30-year-old wide receiver's contract. And for Amari Cooper, he comes out a winner because he got $5 extra million tossed his way. Now, they are incentives from what I read. I'm not quite sure what the incentive benchmarks are that he has to reach, but we'll look at Amari Cooper's stats in a little bit, and you'll see if he plays like he's been playing the last 2 years in Cleveland, he should have no problem clearing those benchmarks and getting an additional $5 million, which, when you look at the top 10 highest paid wide receivers, I doubt he creeps into this list, although you see DK Metcalf is sitting at $24 million. Devontae Smith is sitting at $25 million. These are an average salary, by the way, so if you make $100 million over 5 years like Amari Cooper, you finish 20th. So for Cooper, if he picks up an extra $5 million, he'll creep up into the top 10 for total cash in this upcoming season by my estimations. But for the Browns, they avoid what they really wanted to avoid the whole time, which was adding more years onto his deal. And for Cooper, he can pick up an extra $5 million. All $20 million for this season is guaranteed. And he comes out smiling, I'm sure, as well, because he's a lot richer than he was just a few hours ago. Now, I don't think this shuts the door, though, on an Amari Cooper extension at some point. If October rolls around and Amari Cooper is on path for 1,200 yard season and maybe 10 touchdowns, or maybe not even 10, but somewhere between 5 and 10, I'm sure the Browns are going to be open to re-engage in conversations. Now, maybe Amari Cooper's side will go, listen, the time for contract extensions were in the summer. Like Mike Evans said last year, once the season starts, we're not going into conversations about extensions. And ultimately, that probably made Mike Evans some more money in free agency. So that could be something that comes back to bite the Browns in the butt. If the season wraps up and they weren't able to get an extension done mid-season and Cooper balls out this year, they could end up paying more in the spring than maybe what was on the table in August, or if they could have made an offer in October. So if we're looking at it from all angles, that's something to factor in as well. if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty, if Amari Cooper hits all of his extensions, those incentives do add on to a player's cap hit, so that could take away from some of the rollover cap for next year or potential spending for this season. But we're looking at like a few $1 million, a very, very, very small percentage. So I don't really factor that into the pros and cons sheet much at all. The only thing that the Browns could look back on and regret about this is, man, we had an opportunity to extend him over the summer. We didn't. We want to extend him now in 2025, and it's going to cost us a few extra $1 million than had we done it before. But for the Browns, I'm sure they'd like to maybe make that wager on themselves, and if Amari Cooper balls out, okay, they're out a few extra $1 million. If he doesn't, they probably are relieved that they did not extend a 30-year-old wide receiver. And I don't think Amari Cooper's about to fall off a cliff, but this is the NFL. This stuff does happen. I'd be naive if I said it didn't have at least a small chance of happening this year. Now, before we get further into today's video, give me 60 seconds to tell everyone about our wonderful sponsor today, which is Game Time. If you love baseball and want to catch a Guardians game or any other major league team, you're going to want to give Game Time a shot. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. One thing I really like about Game Time is their flash deals. Save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or event. Plus, they offer the Game Time guarantee. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. So now we can kind of get set for the upcoming season, because I'm glad the Browns were able to get this agreement done before training camp really started to get underway, because the last thing the Browns needed was one more, I wouldn't say distraction, but like one more thing on, we need to cross this off list. Right now they need to cross off like getting Nick Chubb back, getting Deshaun Watson back, getting the offense accustomed to a new offensive coordinator in Ken Dorsey, and potential new play caller. The last thing that needed to get added to that, growing list was get an Amari Cooper extension done or get an Amari Cooper restructure done, make sure everyone is happy. Now, Amari Cooper is someone that, like I said, I would have been fine with extending in the first place, adding a year on to his deal. But this also works. I think this satisfies both parties. Amari Cooper, the last 2 years in Cleveland, has been the best wide receiver in Browns history over a 2-year stretch pretty much. First guy to go over 1,000 yards in back-to-back seasons, 14 touchdowns. I mean, we can take it one step further. We'll look at Amari Cooper's stats from his first 2 years in Cleveland compared to his last 2 years in Dallas. I mean, you could argue from like a physical makeup standpoint that Amari Cooper's athletic prime would have been around 2020 to 2021-ish, right when he's 26, 27, 28 years old as a wide receiver. However, he's played better as a 28, 29-year-old wide receiver the last 2 seasons in Cleveland. So, for the Browns, I'm sure they're relieved that they don't have to deal with any kind of distractions. Andrew Berry always sounded motivated to get something done. At the NFL owners meeting a few months ago, he talked about Amari Cooper, which for Andrew Berry, that's a lot because he doesn't like talking about players and their contracts. And while he didn't get too deep in the conversations, he said something to the tune of like, Coop's a great guy that we want. We want those types of players in our locker room, so we're going to work through that at the appropriate times. Every time Andrew Berry spoke about Amari Cooper to the media, he never even gave like loose signs or signals as to maybe this won't get done. So this never crept up very high, no more than like a 3 out of 10 on my stress or panic meter. The only thing I was worried about was if this bleeds into training camp a little bit, I hope it doesn't, push off a little bit of the continued growing chemistry between Watson and Cooper, because while they've been together for a little bit of time now, they haven't been on the field together, all that much. Deshaun Watson's played 12 games in a Cleveland Browns uniform, so, the overlap hasn't been insane, but with the new offensive coordinator, it's great to have quarterback, wide receiver together right from the start. So I want to show Coop some love. I've got my jersey on for him today. Spam 2 for me down in the comment section below to congratulate him. And who knows, maybe whoever spams 2 the most, Amari Cooper will come across this video, see that, and treat you to a nice steak dinner in Cleveland. I can't guarantee it, but you can't rule it out, so it's got at least some % chance of happening. Now, the rest of the wide receiver room gets ready for a big season. Jerry Jeudy coming over from Denver. Elijah Moore last offseason coming over from the Jets. The Browns in the draft last year added Cedric Tillman. 2 years before that, David Bell. And then Jamari Thrash, the rookie out of Louisville, joining the team. So overall, this Browns wide receiver room, I think, is a little bit slept on because no one really ever wants to acknowledge Amari Cooper being one of those top 10 caliber receivers. But when you put his numbers up against pretty much everyone else outside of like the insanos of Justin Jeffersons in the world, like Amari Cooper goes toe-to-toe with a lot of really good receivers. So for the Browns to have Cooper done and they've got Jerry Jeudy in a good spot with his contract, I'm really excited for this wide receiver room. I think it's going to be one of the better units in the NFL this year. All right, before we wrap up today's show, we're going to pick a card. So we'll bring on Trizzy Trace. Trace, which card do you want to go with, friend?
I mean, we're celebrating Amari
It's got
Cooper.
to be 2.
I'm going.
Which one
I'm
do you
going
wanna
2
go?
of hearts.
I'll go 2 of diamonds.
Perfect.
He's gonna buy some.
We're getting
bling.
steak dinners, baby.
Yep. Okay. If this actually hits,
Dude, this has got to be the week it's a 2.
2's not uncommon.
It isn't.
I'm giving a lot of shuffles too. That way, I feel like the more shuffles, the better the chance.
No doubt, without a doubt.
I don't really know why that's a science, but I would like a lot of shuffles if I'm picking one card.
100%.
All right, one more cut. We ready?
Come on, Coop. 2 for Coop.
Fuck us. 10 of hearts.
That's disgraceful.
What's the next one though?
What's the next one? Oh!
3 of diamonds.
One more?
Queen. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Then 9. 2 of diamonds.
2 of diamonds. Let's go!
That's 5 off.
Amari Cooper.
That's got to count. Well, it doesn't have to count actually, but a participation trophy nevertheless. All right. That's the Amari Cooper news. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Thank you guys for making us a part of your day and including us in your Browns news and rumors roundup. One last time, Cooper, a $5 million incentive tacked on to his pre-existing $20 million salary for this season, which he can earn in incentives, but all $20 million fully guaranteed. So a win for both ends. Now let's get into some padded practices. Joshua Miller, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? You let DK know? $2 for number 2. Let's go. I love it. Can you imagine how pissed off Amari Cooper would have been if that was the offer? If Andrew Barry's like, hey, you're number 2. How about $2?
I mean, I think
go ball out the dollar menu. Get twice whatever you're thinking.
Get twice of what you're thinking.
You want one McDouble? How about 2?
2.
You want an apple pie?
You get 2.
No, we don't have $3. I have to talk to Jerry Jeudy about that. He's got the third dollar. Josh, appreciate you as always. We got some, before the Amari Cooper news broke, Josh, we had our original scheduled show for today, which includes a healthy dose of Joshua Miller. So I think you'll enjoy that. Ray Bidding with a $5 super chat. Let's go, Ray. Even with Coop's deal, could he be a trade? What the heck, Ray? No. Why would you jump to the trade? Stop that.
Well,
stop that.
And a team that makes him less tradable because you have to pay him more now.
Great point by Trace. So, here's the thing. If you really want to be cynical like this, I do not believe the Browns are capable of getting off to such a horrendous start that they would be sellers. They could get off to a bad start. Let's not just pretend like this is in the NFL and parity happens every year for teams. But I don't think they're going to be such a bad team that they don't feel like they can pull their bootstraps up and go on a run in the second half. They could be 3 or 4 wins at the trade deadline, but they won't be sellers still. They would literally have to be 0 to 2 wins in order to be in that market. Josh, appreciate you. Super chat. Oh, is this a super chat from Josh today? Or is this? Yeah. Josh, this is literally half of the video we're doing next. I felt really bad because I meant to answer your question, and then it got away from me, and I remembered this morning, and I was like, nope, we're getting it done today. So I'm going to save my answer for the third/half of the video we have carved out to this exact question. Ben Broski, what's going on, Ben? Let's go, Browns. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. I want to remind everyone we have our MVP offseason board. I'll pull it up for you guys. If you send in a $10 super chat, although I think for today, it should be $2 for Amari Cooper. Yeah, we're going to mandate that. If you send in a $2 super chat, we'll add your name to this MVP offseason board. So let me add already behind on a couple of names like Ben Broski. In the meantime, Trace is going to give some shout-outs.
Yeah, keep typing those twos to congratulate Amari Cooper on getting that check, because that's always nice to see. We got Kathy showing a lot of twos in the chat. Josh is spamming it as well. If you want a shout-out, this is the perfect time to do it. And also, if you send a super chat of $2, like this is the best time, the best value you'll ever get to get on the MVP board. So do what you want with that information.
Okay. I'm adding Ben Broski right now. Ben Broski's right there.
Let's go, Ben.
Who else do I owe? Because like some people are already on it. Ray and Josh are already on it.
Ray and Josh.
Josh
Levi
is already on
5.
it. Ray's on it.
Is James Harper on it?
James Harper is definitely on it. I just got to find his name. There's James. You said Ray.
Yep.
I'm sure Ray is on it, but maybe not. No, I got to add. Oh, there's Ray. There's Ray. So I think we were all even then.
Perfect.
Okay. And then we have James Harper. Yeah, we said his name. He's right there. Okay. We do have like a, Sub-Zero. What's going on, Sub-Zero? Good to see you, man. Sub-Zero won the Nick Chubb t-shirt giveaway last year. It was like weeks 1, 2, or 3, Sub-Zero. You can remind me.
That's awesome. Sub-Zero, you are on the board, my friend. Here we go, Brownies. $2 for Cooper, and it's good to see you guys. Sub-Zero, it's good to see you too, brother. Thanks for tuning in, my friend.
Sub-Zero's on the board. Bingo. Sub-Zero. All right. We do have like a whole show planned out today. That's kind of the funny thing is we had a whole live show planned out for everyone today. So I do want to get to all that stuff. It includes the latest news and rumors, ESPN's roster projection, the surprise cut candidates that came out of that, and then we've got a Browns versus Steelers Madden simulation. So stick around for that. That's always a blast. Levi Mayfield with a $2 super chat. Levi, I like where your head's at. Sub-Zero, appreciate you. We put his super chat on, right? Levi Mayfield, JOK next. A lot of times, I don't have a lot of evidence to back this up. I think GMs kind of view contract extensions as long-term, like when you're in college and you get a project that's a whole semester, and you put it off until the last week. And now they're like, all right, let's knock them all out. We could have spaced it out, but since we're in the, writing check mood, let's just knock them all out at once. So, Levi, I don't have any evidence that supports that theory of mine, but I would not shut down the idea of a JOK extension. I do think there will be more patience from the Browns. They're going to want to get this done, and JOK's side, I'm sure, is eager to get it done, but I could see this going into the season. I don't think it's going to be something they feel like they have to get done, within the start of training camp. It could be something that gets done in the middle of August, for example. Levi, as always, thank you, dude. Josh, what's going on, buddy? Got a ticket to one of the open practices, but couldn't get another to take one of my kids. Should I still go and live with a bit of guilt?
Yes.
How old is the kid?
Yes.
That's my first thought.
I think you should
Also,
still go.
I am a little disappointed in the Browns. They only have, I don't know if you know the number for Saints. The Browns only have 6 open practices to fans.
The Saints are practicing, and they're doing their training camp in California, so none of those fans
For the whole time or just a portion?
For pretty much all of it. They're going to have 1 or 2 open practices at the end of training camp that fans can come to.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's weird.
So 6, I understand. I feel like they've gone a little overboard on the we don't want to show our hand. Stop
Like,
it.
let your fans come and see it.
Did you ever hear about the Carolina Panthers practice field?
No.
So the Carolina Panthers practice field was built near the stadium in downtown Charlotte, and they may have not had the best forward thinking, and they built the practice field in view of a very tall hotel. And the Panthers started to get extreme paranoia that the Falcons, Saints, and Bucks were renting out rooms on the top floor of the hotel to watch the practice field.
That is a massive miss by them.
So they built and this part of the story my memory's a little foggy on, but they basically built a wall to make sure
no one
could see him from the hotel.
That's so funny.
Yeah, someone can fact check me on that, but 90% of that is true. Josh, how old's the kid? 7. I think if you come back with some autographs, you all of a sudden turn from the villain to Santa.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you come back with a pair of gloves or an autograph, mini helmet or something like that, that's a big win.
Yeah, I would think that would clear. So I like your chances, Josh. I don't think it's too much guilt. I think you pull the trigger on it and you come back with some gifts and a big, Santa's bag on your sleigh and your dad of the year. Josh, go Brownies. Ray Bidding, do you see Andrew Berry doing any more surprises? I think that the biggest surprise Berry's done this offseason would probably be re-signing Cade York. I don't think a single Browns fan would have ever predicted anything like that. So do I see any more surprises like that? I mean, I kind of go through his Rolodex of things he'll want to get done and things that he knows he has to get done in the future. And I think he feels like he's in a good spot. Remember, GMs, their in-season starts the day the season ends. Actually, I would say it more so starts in November, December. That's really when they start to kind of hone in on the draft and they start to look at free agency. And it kind of runs until, not now, but the start of the season. And then they kind of sit back for a little bit and see how all their work is done. And they reassess at the trade deadline, and then they kind of go back to sit back and hope that all the pieces they put together work out okay. So I don't envision any big surprises, Ray. I wish I had a more sexy and fun answer for you, but no, I think Andrew Berry is very content with where this roster is right now. Ray Collins, what's going on, dude? We got a super chat from Ray. Quick reminder of what's on tap for the rest of today's live show, though. Ray Collins, first-time super chatter. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. Ray, shout out to you. So what position needs upgraded? Ray, I think at this point the Browns, as I write your name down, I'm not the best at multitasking, would probably look to upgrade depth at cornerstone positions. Do they feel confident in Cameron Mitchell, the backup corner? Or is that a spot they look at and go, ooh, we're a bit queasy because we know Denzel Ward has had a long injury history of his NFL career. He's never played a full season. Greg Newsome's battled injuries in his young career. There's a good chance we got a call on Cam Mitchell. Are we ready to make that call? If the answer is no, I could see them maybe pursuing a more veteran corner, but we're talking backups really at this stage. I don't think there is a single free agent the Browns could sign that would walk in and start. I really don't believe there's a serious, legitimate upgrade option on the free agent market. Maybe a linebacker over Devin Bush. He's probably the guy holding on to his starting spot by a thread. But the offensive line, you're not finding an improvement. You're not finding any improvements on the defensive line. Secondary, no. Wide receivers, no. Quarterback, running back, no. I mean, the other spot I'll toss in is running back. If the Browns feel like Nick Chubb's rehab isn't going as quickly as they might like and they're not sold on Jerome Ford and Deontay Foreman, maybe they look to free agency. But, Ray, I think the Browns are in a really good spot roster-wise. And as fun as it would be to continue to try and find more pieces to add to this roster, I guess is they feel very content with what they have going. So, to answer your question, maybe backup corner, but that's only if they don't like what they have in Cam Mitchell. And there's really not a lot of evidence to believe that's the case because when he did fill in last year at times, I thought he looked pretty solid. Ray, I do appreciate your super chat, though. Thank you so much. We'll add you to our MVP board. Ray Collins, brother of Phil Collins. I still listen to the Tarzan soundtrack. Ray Collins, appreciate you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, are we ready to jump into our news and rumors segment to begin the show? Irish spaghetti. What is Irish spaghetti? I do like inserting Irish in front of anything, and it's got a new meaning. Like, you got the Irish goodbye. That's kind of like the Mount Rushmore of Irish things. Or like Irish play on words. I don't really play on words. Expressions. My favorite is the Irish flu. I learned about that when I was in high school. I was like, "What? You sick?" And they're like, "No, just hungover." Like, oh, I never.
I'm gonna be honest. I was today years old when I heard that.
Yeah, it's a great one. I got the Irish flu. I can't make it.
That's awesome.
Great excuse, because someone who doesn't know might think you're just actually sick. Like, oh, that like the Spanish flu? That sounds awful. Get better, dude.
I know. If you get the reply, "Oh, I hope you feel better," then you're clear. You're set.
Buddy Bear's in the chat. Good to see you, Buddy Bear. Buddy Bear is really coming at the angle of Cooper versus Davante Adams. I don't think anyone is trying to argue Amari Cooper is better than Davante Adams or that you have to have one or the other. They're both different receivers that, they never really even came close to overlapping in Las Vegas.
They're also both really good at their jobs.
They are. That's kind of the unfortunate thing that sports fans tend to do is when we do these like one or the other debates and they're both really good, it's almost as if whoever the loser of that debate is isn't good anymore. No, they're just not as good as the other guy, who is, by the way, top 3 at what he does in the entire world.
I mean, you're preaching facts right now.
Yeah. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about some of the other Browns news items I wanted to get to before the Amari Cooper extension news broke. We got 99 likes right now. If you have not liked the video yet, please do so. Help us get to a nice, there it is, got to 100 likes. Okay, Mr. Gerard, are we ready to jump into it? All right, I'm ready when you are. Before we start today's show, I want to know, what year did you become a Browns fan? Whether you were born a Browns fan, so whatever year you were born, maybe a favorite player of yours came over from college to Cleveland, but let me know in the comment section below what year you became a Browns fan. The Cleveland Browns just got some great news, and it's not the Amari Cooper news, which is good as well, but what I want to talk about today is what I originally planned on talking about before the Amari Cooper contract news broke on Tuesday, and that was a little NFL news story item that just kind of slipped through the cracks a little bit that I don't think people picked up on. And so we're going to run through this news item with you guys because if you didn't see it, the NFL and the NFLPA had a discussion that became public about moving on to an 18-game schedule. And while that might not seem like it's something that would have a major implication for the Cleveland Browns, it does. And I'm going to tell you why on today's show. So I first want to start by sharing this quote from Lloyd Howell, who is the NFLPA high-up exec. And in an interview with the Washington Post, he said, "We have talked at a very, very, very high level superficially with a recognition about, this is something that we should be talking about. And we should really kick the tires and understand what else goes into that decision-making process." So, as I said, the Washington Post kind of the first one to break the NFLPA side of this story. But adding an 18th game isn't a new idea. It's just something that hasn't been discussed by the player side that much, at least not by the high-up NFLPA reps. However, the executive director saying something definitely shows a good sign of progress going down that path. And I promise I'm going to land this plane as to why all of this pertains to the Cleveland Browns. But like I said, this is not the first time that people have discussed the idea of adding an 18th game. Roger Goodell, just a few months ago, back in May, discussed the idea of an 18-game season publicly. I mean, when you're the NFL commissioner, you pick and choose your spots and your words. So for him to be public about this, I think it says a lot. Or how about Joe Burrow himself when he was on the Part of My Take podcast? Joe Burrow talked about the idea of adding a game 18. You can look at the Headline right now on screen for you guys in just a moment. Did Joe Burrow fix football? Bengals QB reveals simple but perfect 18-game NFL scheduling solution. And in Burrow's idea, they would have like an all-star break, like in the NHL and the NBA, where all 32 teams have a bye somewhere around week 12 or week 13. But again, why does any of this matter to the Browns? Why does adding an 18th game mean a piece of good news for Cleveland? This is why. The simple fact of the matter is when you have a growing enterprise and there are opportunities within that intervening period of time where progress could be made and you could tweak the existing CBA legal document, why wouldn't you do that? I call it bargaining. I call it amendments. I call it updates to what is now a living document called a CBA. Yeah, I want to be able to have our membership in a position to jump on it when we can. Not wait until their playing days are done and it's like you go through the cycle all over again. So why is that good news? Well, because the last time the NFL added an additional game, when they went from 16 to 17, they had to wait until the collective bargaining agreement was up for review, which was back at 2020. Now, the next one's not up until 2030. But the NFLPA executive director is talking about amending the CBA now, not waiting until the end of the agreement back in 2030, which means all of this could point to an 18-game season coming possibly as soon as next year. We've seen how quickly the NFL can work. They added a brand new kickoff rule in one offseason. They make a lot of changes in the offseason. So if the NFL adds an 18-game schedule sooner rather than later, well, more games equals more money. And more money equals a bigger salary cap. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what the Browns are betting on. That is why it is great news for Andrew Berry and this front office. If the Browns can get a bigger salary cap league-wide, that is going to soften their approach of heavy spending. The big contracts they have been giving out have all been under the assumption that the NFL salary cap will continue to rise. And it will, barring one of two things, a global pandemic or this DirecTV Sunday ticket lawsuit taking a major chunk out of the league revenue, and as a result, the NFL salary cap could either stay the same or just go down or maybe only marginally up. So outside of those two things, the Browns have made a pretty safe bet. As we saw last year, how big, or I guess this year, how big of an increase there was in the NFL salary cap. And if the salary cap continues to go up and exponentially up, all of a sudden the salary cap hits the Browns have for guys like Deshaun Watson, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, David Njoku, their offensive line, the percentage cap hit is going to go down. And that means the Browns are going to have more money to spend on other spots on their roster, and they're not going to have to start cutting or trading guys to get below the salary cap. Now, I'm going to add more onto this in just a second, but I do want to share a quick word from our great friends over at Game Time. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. If you love summer baseball and want to catch a Guardians game or any other major league team, you're going to want to give Game Time a shot. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. One thing I really like about Game Time is their flash deals. Save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or event. Plus, they offer the Game Time guarantee. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHAT Sports for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Now, this next graphic I'm putting on screen is not to scare you, but just to be upfront. This is the Browns salary cap space per over the cap for the next 3 seasons. They are $44 million in change over the salary cap in 2025. In 2026, they're $16 million over the salary cap. By the way, the Browns in 2026, as of this moment, are the only team over the salary cap. And in 2027, like pretty much every other team, a lot of contracts that are currently on their books are likely going to be expired by then. So they've got plenty of salary cap space, but that's also a very long ways away from now. But for the next 2 years, the Browns are in a little bit of a bind when it comes to the salary cap. Now, no, they're not screwed. I know that you're going to see some people on Twitter try and tell you the Browns are doomed. They don't have any salary cap space. No, I'm going to push back on that. Because like we saw just a few months ago, the NFL salary cap jumped up 13.5% in 2024. And if they add an 18th game, well, an 18th game, ladies and gentlemen, means the NFL gets a little bit more money from all their TV partners. Fox, CBS, NBC, Amazon Prime, Netflix. Everyone's getting an NFL game right now. And if the NFL revenue goes up, well, all the teams get more money distributed to them. And as a result, the salary cap is going to go up. And that is why the Browns have been wise in their spending, because they have been making pretty smart bets, in my opinion. The NFL salary cap is going to continue to go up. And sure, while this year Deshaun Watson's salary cap hit looks like it's 20% or whatever number it is, well, in 3 years, that 20% is going to dwarf down to 10 to 15% because of the rise of the NFL salary cap. So I understand why players may not be on board with an 18th game, because it's a lot of wear and tear on their body. An 18th game means, 60, 70 more snaps. That's 60, 70 more plays where someone could get injured. But for the Browns, I'm sure it's what they're pulling for. It's more money, it's more spending, and it's easier on their salary cap burdens. And for the fans, well, if they add an 18th game, that means they're adding not an extra game altogether, because they're just going to remove one preseason game, but they're going to probably add maybe another bye week or just another week altogether. And as a result, we're going to get Super Bowl Sunday the day before President's Day. And we're going to have a 3-day weekend, which we have been chasing for our entire lives. Now, one important note. When the NFL went from 16 to 17 games, you might be wondering, all right, what happened to players' contracts? Did they get an extra paycheck? Because if you don't know, the way players get paid is they get a paycheck for every single game they play. Or not play, but they're on their roster for. So when the NFL expanded to 17 games, players received an extra paycheck. However, that extra paycheck did not count towards the team's salary cap. So all contracts that were signed and agreed to before a potential 18-game extension and agreement would not be subject to reworking the contract. They would just get an extra paycheck for the extra game and extra week being played. So if all that sounded confusing to you, which even halfway through I kind of confused myself because we're talking a lot of legal jargon here and I'm not a lawyer. In short, 18 games equals more revenue, right? An extra regular season game, more TV contracts, more TV money. We all agree. That equals salary cap increase, which equals good for Andrew Berry, because he has been spending Jimmy and Dee Haslam's money like it is burning a hole in his wallet. And if the salary cap goes up, well, the thing that people love to point out about the Browns' shortcomings is they're going to be in salary cap hell soon. They can't pay all these guys. It's going to come back to haunt them. No, it won't. The salary cap continues to rise and rise exponentially more because of an 18-game schedule, which it does sound like that has to wait till 2030. It sounds like that could get done in the near future, as the NFLPA executive director said himself. It's a living document. They can amendment. That could be something that gets done in 2025, 2026. And that'd be very big for the Browns. All right. Before we wrap it up here, quick sub-read, because we are at 142 subscribers in the month of July. And I was looking at the YouTube analytics for the Ravens Rundown, which is at 172. We're not losing to the Ravens Rundown in subscribers in back-to-back months. I'm not going to stand for that. I know there are 31 of you watching that have not subscribed that also hate the Ravens. So please, do all of us a big favor and hit that sub button down below. Now, we have some super thanks I want to catch up on here. Ray Bidding with a super thanks. Appreciate you, Ray, as always. Go Brownies, dude. And then Joshua Miller with a super thanks that I forgot to get to last week. Dalvin Tomlinson, underappreciated or overvalued? So we're going to kind of dive into some Dalvin Tomlinson stats and highlights and whatnot. Last year in his first season with the Browns, 28 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 12 QB hits, and 11 stops. Stops is a metric that PFF tracks. Basically what it looks at is, all right, 28 tackles, but where were those tackles? Were they at the line of scrimmage to halt to play for no yards or little advancement? Or was it after they gained 8 yards and it wasn't that incredible of a tackle? So stops is a good metric too. Hey, did that defensive tackle make big-time stops near the line of scrimmage so that the offense gets a minimal gain? Or is it after they rushed for 5, 6, 7 yards? Dalvin Tomlinson's PFF grades from last year, he ranked 57th out of 130 qualifying interior defensive linemen. So we're looking at a top half interior defensive tackle. Overall grade, 63.3. Run defense was a little bit low, 52.1. Pass rush, 73.2. I'm a little surprised by the run defense grade, and this kind of serves as a good reminder that PFF is a tool, just that. It's a good tool to use, but by no means should you form your entire opinion based on Pro Football Focus. So when you ask, is he underappreciated or overvalued? I mean, you look at the highest paid defensive tackles, 1 through 9, and you can see Dalvin Tomlinson clocking in at 17th. For what he's getting paid and about where he stands amongst his peers, I don't think that Dalvin Tomlinson is overrated or underappreciated greatly. I think he is, as lame as this is to say, properly appreciated. Like, maybe he is a little bit underappreciated, but overall, I think Dalvin Tomlinson's appreciation level is at a good spot. Remember how bad the Browns' run defense was before he got there? I mean, we're talking one of the worst in the NFL. And then with his impact in his first year, a run defense that shaved off like 35 yards a game. So I think Dalvin Tomlinson is in a good spot when it comes to appreciation, Josh. Appreciate you, though, for the super thanks. Lastly, we do have to get to a really fun little ending to the show, which is some Browns history via Tim Green. So a few months ago, we ran kind of a special, I guess we can call it, during our live show, which was biggest super chat that day. Got to pick a segment for a show. Tim reached out to me and said, hey, I'd love to do some Browns history, and I love history. So I thought this could be a good little wetting of the beak going into training camp. So some Browns history I want to share with you guys that maybe you knew of already but didn't know the full story, or maybe you're like me and a lot of this was before you were even born. So in 2001, we had an iconic Browns game in not a good way. The overturned Quincy Morgan catch in immediate chaos. So if you don't remember, this game was coming down to the last few minutes here, and Quincy Morgan came up with a big grab. He was hit immediately, and he may or may not have really completed the process of the catch, but the Browns rushed to the line of scrimmage, and Tim Couch spiked the football. However, Terry McAulay afterwards, after the spike, initiated a review and removed the catch, which sent Browns players, coaches, and fans into an absolute tizzy. Bottles were being thrown from fans down to people sitting in the lower levels and onto the field. Ultimately, the refs called it with 48 seconds still on the clock, but Commissioner Paul Tagliabue made them return to finish the game. All right, moving on here. 1978, Clay Matthews and Ozzie Newsome were selected in round 1 of the NFL draft by the Cleveland Browns. Now, Ozzie Newsome, an NFL Hall of Famer, has his gold jacket. Clay Matthews has yet to get into Canton, but I do think he has a chance of getting in. And if he were to get in, these two players would join Dick Butkus and Gale Sayers as the only two players drafted in round 1 by the same team to make it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Next, 1970. We get the first Monday Night Football game between the Browns and the Jets, a game that Cleveland would win 31-21. Now, fun fact, local viewers in Cleveland actually could not watch the game due to blackout laws, but a few years later, they would amend those laws and changes, and fans were allowed to watch the game if all the tickets were sold within 72 hours before kickoff. 1966. This one's not very nice. Jim Brown, star running back for the Cleveland Browns at the time, and a Browns legend who we unfortunately lost not long ago. He retires over a movie. So here's the story. Jim Brown was deciding, you know what, there is more to life than football, and he noticed that and started to kind of pick up an acting career. He was doing some Western films in the offseason. Now, keep in mind, in 1966, the NFL was not what it was today. A lot of players had off-season jobs. Being an NFL football player did not mean you were a multimillionaire like a lot of guys are today. So Jim Brown was just trying to keep the revenue coming in during the offseason. However, the villain owner, Art Modell, threatened to fine Jim Brown $1,000 a week that he would miss training camp. And Jim Brown, who was looking to wrap up a movie that was bleeding into training camp, said, you know what? How about this? I'll just retire. And that's what he did. So thank you, Art Modell. Not really. And finally, from 1937 to 1954, there were no such thing as the Cleveland Browns. There were the Cleveland Rams, as I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of. They moved to L.A. right after winning the NFL championship, which that might not be new information to anyone, but I do think what you guys might find interesting is L.A. has been like a foster care for a lot of teams, not just Cleveland. St. Louis moved to L.A. after moving from L.A. Oakland moved to L.A. and then back to Oakland. San Diego Chargers moved to L.A. And I also learned that the Seattle Seahawks were beginning to move to L.A., but it was halted by Commissioner Pete Rozelle as the Browns were going to Baltimore around the same time. The Houston Oilers were going to Nashville, and the NFL had put a rule in that if anyone wants to move to L.A., they have to get league approval. The Seahawks just went under the mindset of better to ask for forgiveness, not permission. And Pete Rozelle began fining Seattle $500,000 for every day they were in Anaheim. So they quickly packed up their stuff and went back to the Pacific Northwest. All right, we're going to bring on Trizzy Trace for the end of today's video. I'm sorry, it's a little bit longer than maybe I planned for. Trace, which card do you want to go with?
I'm liking the 4 of spades.
All right, I'm going to go with the 2 of clubs. You were closer. 5 of diamonds. 5 of diamonds. All right, that will do it for us on today's show. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed our episode today. If you did, go ahead, hit that thumbs up button down below. Soul Train, what's going on, dude? Good to see you, man. Soul Train's been way too busy hitting all of the EDM shows in the greater Florida area. Felt like all the offensive tackles on their roster got hurt last season, which really impacts QB play. With everyone back, how much will QB protection improve? Infinitely? Like they were dealing with Garyon Christian or Garon Christian, I always mispronounce his name, and James Hudson. Like just not starting caliber guys, really. Deshaun Watson should have a lot more time to stand in the pocket. I also think Deshaun Watson himself needs to slightly tweak his game a little bit. We know that he loves to hold on to the ball, and that comes at a price of, hey, that will bring out some sacks and some unnecessary hits, but also that's going to extend plays and allow for big explosive plays downfield to develop. But Soul Train, in short, I mean, think about how important offensive line is for quarterback play. You give Deshaun Watson a few extra seconds in that pocket, not even extra seconds, quarter seconds, half seconds, and we're talking about him and Amari Cooper linking up for a big play down the field.
Well, and how many times have we seen good quarterbacks suffer because of bad offensive line play? You know, and I think if you have good offensive line play, you could even have a mediocre quarterback look okay because he has plenty of time to throw the ball.
Something that I don't think gets enough discussion, and this is going to come across in a bad light. Patrick Mahomes is awesome. Not taking anything away from Patrick Mahomes. But I don't think people appreciate how good Kansas City's offensive line is. They've got Pro Bowl talent pretty much at all 5 spots. So, yes, Patrick Mahomes would still be Patrick Mahomes if he had any other offensive line. Don't get that twisted. But I do think because Patrick Mahomes is such a superstar, we overlook how good the Chiefs' offensive line is. They're incredible. So they went up against the Philadelphia Eagles, who had the NFL single-season sack record, and nobody got close to Mahomes that game. Like, offensive line play is so important. James Harper with a $2 super chat. What's going on, James? Pick a random from the chat, put them on the board. I like it, James. Spam me if you're in the chat and you want to get added to our MVP offseason board. I think I got to add Soul Train. I don't know if Soul Train's already on here, but I'm not seeing his name. So, start spamming me. We'll pick someone, and we'll add them to the board. This is a little bit of a Jeremy Stallman type of philanthropy. Okay. Soul Train. That's what I had to add. I'm going to pick a me in 3, 2, 1. And we're going with, no, didn't work. 3, 2, 1. We're going with Terrence G. Terrence G.
Everyone clap it up for Terrence. Shout out Terrence G.
Shout out to Terrence. Shout out to James. James, you're a great human being. Terrence G. Okay. I'm out of stickers now. I got more on my desk, though.
We're going to have to, we might have to get some more stickers.
I mean, I ran out of stickers altogether. I had to order some more. That was like 2 weeks ago. Soul Train and then Terrence G. Okay. Soul Train, Terrence G. Shout out to, now I can't find his name on here.
James Harper?
No, James Harper. Yes, right there. For hooking up Terrence G. All right. David Botner with a $5 super chat. Let's go, boys. We are set. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. David, appreciate you. Can you ask someone to bring me? They're on my desk, please. Or you can just run it yourself. David will add you to the board as soon as we finish Trace's 40-yard dash. I can hear him running. Okay. So next up on the show, we're going to get into some ESPN surprise cut candidates. Where's Ty Man the Buckeye? I'm a little worried about his well-being. He's always here. In the meantime, Kid Wilson, Terrence G., Kathy Sidelecki, American Cheese, Ray Bidding, the Red Headphones guy, Joshua Miller, Echo HD, or Eco HD. I've always screwed that one up. JJ Martin, Pepper Martin, Lawton, Oklahoma, go Browns. I felt like once Baker left the Browns fandom from the state of Oklahoma plummeted. Terrence G, let's go! The $5 super chat, and we are passing along the paying it forward. That's
this is like that skit of I'm gonna pay it forward. All right, give me 42 hot dogs, 42 sandwiches, 42 burgers, 42 tater tots, 42 French fries, 42 onion rings. This is just like that.
Stop. I'm doing something. David, appreciate you. Go Browns, dude. Terrence G, next one up. Keep it going. Pick another. Thank you, James. That's awesome, Terrence. Everyone start spamming me.
If you want to end on the Hall of Fame board,
type me. We're going to pick a name in 5 or so seconds. Cool
Get
guy,
going.
You're already on the board. Same with you, Kathy.
Get going. Go.
Here we go. Going to pick someone.
Faster.
3, 2, 1. American Cheese won, and there really wasn't much of a competition.
Not even close.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool guy wanted to get on there twice, but American Cheese typed it so much faster. All right, who's going to pay it forward for the next guy?
I kind of like this train we got going here.
This is fun. This is very fun.
Somewhere Jeremy Stallman is in 30,000 feet above us.
Looking down.
Smiling. He's not in heaven, just on a Southwest flight.
He's so
which
proud
is actually in the air. I'm not going to lie. When the computer outage happened, if I had to bet for which airline would handle it the worst, I would probably pick Southwest. After like the way they mishandled like the winter storms back in like January.
Sure.
Remember that?
Yeah.
But the fact that they were not affected by it at all because they don't have an updated version of Microsoft was one of the most hysterical but like accurate things I've ever. David Botner right there, and then American cheese right here.
Somebody can get in right under Brownie the Elf's chin.
Okay, let's get into some roster projection talk. Josh, I got no deal from Jeremy on my upcoming trip to Cleveland. Unfortunately not. I did have some major travel issues. I went to Atlanta this past weekend for a wedding, and when we were coming back or getting ready to come back at like 11:50 p.m. the night before, we had a 9:30 a.m. flight the next morning. Got the text from Delta saying my flight's been canceled, and we've all gotten those texts before. It's usually followed up with, your flight's been canceled, and we rebooked you onto this flight. They didn't even do that. They just said, your flight's canceled, and we're going to try and rebook you. There was very little confidence that they could even rebook me. So I immediately rented a car. Didn't even look at the driving distance between Atlanta and Dallas. Just rented a car. And, well, I guess I put pause on the story. As American Cheese with a $10 super chat.
Wow.
Let's go. I love the philanthropy right now.
Dude,
we've got some great human beings. American Cheese, let's go. Let's go, Browns. Pay it forward and pick another. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. American Cheese, an American legend. I love it. Also, I don't really like American cheese, but I do like American cheese now.
I love American cheese.
Are you an American cheese guy?
I used to not be, but now I'm all in.
I'm pure, like, basic cheddar.
It's not bad.
Burger topping, cheddar.
Not
you know
bad.
what I mean? Build your own burger. I always pick that one. But now, I think I got to give American cheese another
at least
shot.
got to give it a try once.
Yeah. I have heard that American cheese is actually the best for a burger.
I agree with that.
And there's like a
melts so
scientific reason. Because it melts into the bun, the patty quicker.
Yes.
Because it doesn't have like
some
mold and stuff that European cheese has.
Yeah, I would agree. I think American cheese is one of the best, not for a sandwich, but for a burger because you can melt it, tastes great, gets the job done.
I like cheddar cheese.
Cheddar's so good.
Gouda. I like Gouda a lot.
You like provolone? Provolone?
I like provolone, only from Jimmy John's, though.
I'm a big provolone on a sandwich guy.
When the holiday season rolls around, if you take a knife and cut me open, brie cheese will pour out.
Ooh.
Only holiday season.
Brie is
Couldn't
good.
imagine having brie in the summer. That wouldn't feel right.
God, no.
But, man, you put a charcuterie board in front of me and a Christmas football game, I am finishing the brie single-handedly.
Love it.
Just to put a bow on my travel story because I don't want to forget it. So, yeah, rented a car. Have you ever seen pictures online or on Twitter of like, check out Atlanta International Airport or Chicago O'Hare, and you see the super long lines?
Yes.
And you're like, wow, thank God I'm not in those lines. I showed up to Atlanta's airport, and I had to get in that horrible long line.
That's terrible.
Just for the rental car. This one rental car company, Dollar Rental, I never heard of it anymore. I never heard of it before then. Was the only place that still had cars available.
Wow.
And I rented my car at 12:03 a.m. Now, I was about to have, like, if you know the Seinfeld episode, a Jerry Seinfeld moment of fear of getting to the front of the line and them telling me, we don't have the car for you anymore. Mm-hmm. What do you mean? I reserved it. We got your reservation, but we don't have the car for you. But that's the whole point of the reservation.
Yep.
Anyone could take a reservation. It's about holding the reservation.
Yes.
So I waited in this line after some other problem-solving techniques that were failures at the end of the day. And after 2.5 hours, I got my car. And
2.5 hours?
Yep. And then I didn't actually get my car. I got the paperwork the guy signed off on to go to the garage to give to the parking valet person, and they would give you the keys to a car. I got to the garage, and I had a full-size car, and the lady working's like, we don't have any more full-size cars. And I'm like, excuse me? And then she kind of runs away to get someone else's car, and as if that's like the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
Some other valet person walks over and didn't know about the conversation we just had and looked at my piece of paper and was like, oh, crap. Go take that car there instead. And we just ran to that car. Hopped in it, drove away.
Yeah, at that moment, just get in and go. Because once you're off the lot, it doesn't matter.
All right, here we go. Let's talk
So
ESPN
fun.
surprise cut candidates. What's going on, everyone? Coming up on today's show, we're going to break down an ESPN roster projection article. And what I want to share with you guys are some of the surprise cut candidates that ESPN made that, well, surprised me. So let's start off going in somewhat of a proper order for a roster breakdown. The quarterback room, where they did not have Tyler Huntley making the 53-man roster. Now, I'm not blown away by this. The other three quarterbacks they had on the roster were, of course, Watson, Winston, and then you could guess Dorian Thompson-Robinson. The Browns are not going to take 4 quarterbacks onto their active 53-man roster. I do believe they will take 3 quarterbacks onto their active 53-man roster. I think the Browns over the last 2 years have learned just how important it is to have a strong quarterback room, top to bottom, and not just rely on one guy at the top, since they, started 5 different quarterbacks last year. But I truly am torn on QB3. Part of me doesn't believe the Browns are going to move on from Dorian Thompson-Robinson after just one season, where I believe, and this might not be a popular opinion, he showed serious improvement from his first game against the Ravens to the last time he started against the Broncos. Like, he was kind of tossed into the fire, so to speak. But Tyler Huntley, I feel like, was signed for a little bit of a reason, and it wasn't just to do some cardio in the spring. I mean, Huntley's got way more experience than DTR. He has started a playoff game. Sure, they ended up coming short against the Bengals, but it came down to the end. Remember the 99-yard touchdown flip, near touchdown for the Ravens? Instead, it's a pick six or a scoop and score for Cincinnati. So we're going to have a quarterback battle between Tyler Huntley and DTR. My guess is that the loser, or maybe even the winner, will likely just get traded if a team loses their starting quarterback during the preseason, like we saw last year with Josh Dobbs going to the Cardinals as Colt McCoy was injured at the time still. So I don't really know what's going to happen at QB3. It's going to be a fun battle to watch. But make no mistake, everyone should be very relieved that the Browns' quarterback battle is for the 3rd quarterback spot. People are going to get up in arms over this. I know this fan base, and I love this fan base for this reason. They're going to come at each other's throats over who the 3rd quarterback should be. And they're not wrong for that, because last year, the 3rd quarterback started games for this team. But just take a moment to appreciate that now Browns fans are in a spot where all we've got to do is fight over the 3rd quarterback and no longer the starting quarterback. Moving on to our second notable cut that was not on ESPN's roster projection, running back Pierre Strong Jr. Now, this might not seem like a big surprise to you, but it's a little bit of a surprise to me for a couple of reasons. One, when you look at ESPN's roster projection, they've got Jerome Ford, Deontay Foreman, and Nyheim Hines making the 53-man roster. No, Nick Chubb was not cut. We'll get to Chubb in a moment. But I think Pierre Strong Jr. not being on the 53-man roster is a little bit of a surprise because of his special teams value. The Browns, like all of the 32 teams, are going to have 2 kick returners this year. Teams have to have 2 guys set up in the landing zone, which is the goal line to the 20-yard line. And Pierre Strong Jr. and Jerome Ford were running with the first-team kick return this year. So I think the Browns, who traded for Pierre Strong Jr. about 12 or 11 months ago now at this point, would be somewhat reluctant to move on from him already because of his special teams upside, especially with Jerome Ford potentially slated to have some running back duties, with Nick Chubb maybe missing some early games in the season. If Jerome Ford's busy being the RB1, who's helping Nyheim Hines, who's coming off a torn ACL, as a kick returner? My thought would be Pierre Strong Jr. Now, Nick Chubb not on the list because ESPN had Nick Chubb starting the season off on the PUP list. If Nick Chubb enters training camp on the active PUP list, which by the time you're watching this, you probably already know the answer to that question, but if he stays on the PUP list for all of training camp, he gets removed or he gets moved to the reserved PUP list. If you're on the reserved PUP list, you are out for a minimum 4 weeks, and after 4 weeks, a 5-week practice window opens. And if you don't return after that, you're done for the season. I don't think we're going to see Nick Chubb start on the PUP list. He may not be ready week 1. He may not be at 100% for week 2, but I don't think we're going to see him get shut down minimum 4 weeks. I don't. I feel like his rehab progress and the leakages and what we have seen so far all points to Nick Chubb being closer to ready for September week 1 than week 5 in October. Third notable cut, wide receiver David Bell, former third-round pick out of Purdue by the Browns, did not make the 53-man roster projection. So, we got our first kind of early-ish draft pick by Andrew Berry getting cut. Here are the 6 wide receivers that made the roster. Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore, Cedric Tillman. Those 4 are all locks to make it. Then you've got a battle with James Prochet. I'll also say Jamari Thrash is a lock to make it. They're just not cutting a 5th-round pick 5 months after selecting him. But James Prochet and Jamari Thrash round out the 6-man wide receiver room. So David Bell ends up being on the outside looking in here. Last year, there was some smoke that David Bell would get cut. And I was a big stand and believer that no, David Bell is not going to get released. The team is not cutting a 3rd-round draft pick just 16 months later. This year, it's definitely a little bit more dicey for David Bell. Now, the question that I think we're going to get an answer to that will reveal David Bell's spot on this roster is what kind of emphasis is going to be placed on special teams? I don't think we're going to see David Bell returning kicks anytime soon. So if David Bell can't help out on special teams much, and he's not going to get on the field for offensive reasons, where is he going to contribute? Now, this wouldn't be the first time we see a wide receiver 5 or 6 make the roster and not be a big contributor on special teams, but still have a spot. But that was under the old kick return rules, which a lot of times resulted in in touchbacks, and teams just didn't carve out more than maybe one roster spot for a return man. Now with the new return rules, teams might have a much greater emphasis on the return man. And so they might grow that one dedicated spot to 2 or 3. And if that happens, that could take away a roster spot from someone like David Bell, who doesn't bring a ton to the table on special teams. Now, before we get to the rest of ESPN's roster projection, today's show is sponsored by our friends over at Game Time. If you love summer baseball and want to catch a Guardians game or any other major league team, you're going to want to give Game Time a shot. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. One thing I really like about Game Time are their flash deals. Save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or event. Plus, they offer the Game Time guarantee. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Fourth notable cut, and maybe the most notable of all, defensive tackle Siaka Ika. I feel bad for Siaka Ika because I don't know if he consumes any of this stuff, but every time we see a surprise cut article or video, his name's always on it. And that's got to wear on you mentally. But here are the 10 defensive linemen that made the roster. Myles Garrett, Darius Smith, Okoronkwo, Alex Wright, Isaiah McGuire, all at the defensive end position. Dalvin Tomlinson, Shelby Harris, Maurice Hurst, Quentin Jefferson, Mike Hall, all at the defensive tackle position. And all of a sudden, Siaka Ika, 3rd-round pick out of Baylor last year, finds himself on the outside looking in. Now, last year, Ika was mostly a healthy scratch for the year. When he did start to get some PT towards the end of the year after Maurice Hurst went down, he never even got on the stat sheet. Like, the Browns took an absolute tree stump of a human being in round 3. 6'3", 335 pounds. And Jim Schwartz said, we want to turn you from a dump truck into a Ferrari. When I think in reality, Siaka Ika was always meant to be a dump truck, meaning like he's not supposed to be some fast athletic specimen. He is supposed to be a guy that swallows up 1 or 2 offensive linemen and frees up linebackers to get into the backfield. But the Browns and like most of the league, that's not the way that they are trending towards when it comes to defensive linemen. The name of the game is get after the quarterback. And do you know what place the quarterback hates getting pressure from the most? Right up the middle. So I think the Browns under Jim Schwartz are looking for more of pressure setters and toners from their defensive tackles. And that's reflected with the draft pick of Mike Hall, who had an incredible 40-yard dash time despite being a defensive tackle. Quentin Jefferson, a good pass rusher from the interior. Now, why they drafted Siaki Ika, if that was the plan, I don't really know the answer to that question. But what I do know is Siaki Ika is definitely fighting for a roster spot. Now, before we get on to the rest of today's video, just a quick plug and reminder. If you like the content we're doing, just go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. It really would help the channel out a lot. And if you're not subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Fifth and final notable cut here, it is rookie linebacker Nathaniel Watson out of Mississippi State. Wow, just leaving off a draft pick from April already. Now, every so often you do see rookies get cut from the initial 53-man roster. They tend to be round 7 guys, and Watson, the 6th-round draft pick, is not too far away from that territory. But here are the 5 linebackers that made the roster. JOK, Jordan Hicks, Devin Bush, and then a UDFA last year who made it, Muhammad Diabate, and then guy entering his 4th year with the Browns now, former day 3 pick, Tony Fields. So Nathaniel Watson, who was a 6th-round draft pick by Cleveland out of Mississippi State, he's on the older end. He'll be 24 years old by the time week 1 kicks off, but he led the SEC in sacks last year with 10 as an off-ball linebacker. He's got plenty of production. There's no question about whether or not he can do the job. The question is, was he doing the job against 19-year-olds and taking advantage of playing in college football for 6 years? And if so, will that translate to the NFL? Maybe, maybe not. So, Nathaniel Watson, I am a little bit skeptical of getting cut because he was just picked in the April draft. Now, the Browns had a lot of veterans going into the draft, and Andrew Berry did make a comment when the draft was over that he tried like hell with the Vikings to get a deal done to move out of some picks. So I do think Andrew Berry made some selections in day 3 of the draft that he knew he just had to make because he was on the clock and no one would trade with him. And maybe he knows because of that, some of these guys are destined for the practice squad even in year 1. But at the same time, when we go through ESPN's entire roster projection cuts, look how many players were left off the 53-man roster that were drafted the last just 3 drafts. All of the last 3 picks, Nathaniel Watson, Miles Harden, and Juwan Briggs from April, did not make the 53-man roster. Siaki Ika, Luke Whippler from last year's draft did not make the roster. David Bell, Cade York, he's back on the roster, so I got to count him. Michael Woods, Isaiah Thomas. We're looking at 9 draftees from the last 3 years not making the roster. There are going to be some guys on that list there that don't make the roster. I don't think the number is going to be very high. I don't think it's going to be as high as 9. Now, we also are losing sight of or forgetting that, unfortunately, with training camp and preseason always comes injuries. And when we come at each other's throats during the months of July and early August over who's going to make the roster, we forget that roster spots are going to open up. And if you don't believe me, just look at the last 2 years. I'm looking at 6 players that were locks to make the roster. Jakeem Grant, Michael Woods, Jacob Phillips, all suffered season-ending injuries before roster cutdown day. That opened up 3 roster spots. So when you look at those 9 recent draftees that get cut, factor in they may be the ones that get injured, as crappy as that is to say out loud, it's the reality, or it may be somewhat beneficial for them because it could come at a position they play, and that opens up a roster spot for them. So with all that being said, give me your surprise cut candidate. Get in the comment section below. Give me a surprise cut candidate for someone you just think that maybe people are kind of overlooking a little bit when it comes to their security on this roster. All right, we're going to bring on producer Trizzy Trace. Trace, which card do you want to go with?
I'm liking the 7 of hearts today.
7 of hearts?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to go with the 2 of diamonds. No, I did that 2 days ago. I'm going to go with the Jack of hearts.
I like the change.
If it's 2 of diamonds, what'd you say? I
said 7 of hearts.
No, 5 of diamonds. 5 of diamonds.
I hate when you do that.
I know. That's why I like doing it. All right. That will do it for us on today's show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day, and go Brownies. We got some super chats coming in from Joshua Miller. Is the paying it forward tree going? Nathaniel Watson equals preseason Prince. Pay it forward. Every year we need a preseason Prince. Last year was Austin Watkins. Still think he's Canton bound.
Preseason Princes are my favorite.
Yeah, year
That's
before
the best
that.
part.
And here's the best part too. The preseason Princes are, like, I don't know what the best way to describe it is, unfair to the fans, because those that don't watch the preseason because they're just not that big of a fan won't fall victim to the preseason Princes.
That's true.
Those that are big fans are almost punished for being too big of fans because they overemphasize the preseason and they forget, oh yeah, when the regular season starts, that guy probably won't even see the field. So it's almost like it's beneficial to not watch the preseason so you don't fall in love. Now, every once in a while, those preseason Princes actually end up having big roles on their respective side of the football, but I don't hate the prediction, Josh. Give me it. Nate Watson, preseason Prince, pay it forward. Do we owe one or two additions to the board? We got American Cheese and Josh Miller. Yeah. So start spamming me if you want to get on to, actually, who's in the chat right now? We're going to add someone that's not on it. I'm just going to pick a name out. Get in the chat if you want to get on the board. Cool Guy thinks Mike Hall Jr. can be the preseason Prince. Dobbs, when he was preseason Prince, was awesome. Debbie, we're going to add Debbie. Debbie's always been a longtime viewer. Debbie's getting added. We got to add one more as we continue the pay it forward tree. Shout out to you, Debbie. Appreciate you, as always, for being active in the chat. We got to add one more. You're welcome, Debbie. Get in the chat. Josh, I don't hate that idea. We'll probably do a preseason Prince segment before the first preseason game. Yeah, the preseason Prince?
Preseason, it's just fun to do that. Talk about like these guys who may or may not make the roster, but it's even more fun when you're like, I have a preseason Prince and they made the roster.
Yeah.
Like that is a win.
You feel like
cannot match.
a genius. If you can get your preseason Prince to also be a UDFA, game over. Okay, let's get into our Browns versus Steelers Madden simulation. Are we ready to rock and roll? I'm ready whenever you are, Mr. Trace Gerard. Nope. We got the 6-5-1 Browns. Yep. And going up against, what's the Steelers' record? I have it written down right here. They are 5-7. So the 6-5-1 Browns going up against the 5-7 Pittsburgh Steelers. Jersey Dog. We got Loon, New Jersey 2. At Pittsburgh, just take the previously made one. So it's got the date and everything correct. Cool Guy, Jersey Dog. Everyone's spamming B for the Browns. Who you got? The Steelers are a tough nut to crack this year. Like last year, they made the playoffs with below average quarterback play. So one would think like if they are able to replicate what they did last year, but just improve their quarterback play by any amount, they'll be a better team. I think that's a slippery slope to go down because you're banking on the defense to be identical. And offenses can stay consistent from year to year. Defenses is a lot more difficult to stay consistent from year to year. So I don't think it's the best idea to make that type of bet. Okay. The Steelers are 5-7. James Harper, F Pitt, go Browns, sub for Dubs. Love it, James. Love it, James. Here we go. Are we ready to rumble? Here we go. It is Madden Sim Time, Browns versus Steelers. Now, if you've been keeping up with our Madden, I wouldn't say trilogy, but however long this season's been at this point, week 14, we've had a lot of fun. Been some ups, been some downs. The Browns just lost on a walk-off field goal against the Broncos last week, but now they get ready to try and sweep the Pittsburgh Steelers, something they have not done in the regular season for many decades. So we're going to run through our Madden simulation. Quick PSA, we're going to have a channel meet and greet coming up soon, Thursday, August 1st at Masthead Brewing Company in downtown Cleveland. So if you want to come hang out, get a bite to eat, get a drink, talk brownies with me, Thursday, August 1 at Masthead Brewing. Would love to see you guys there. Now, here's how the AFC North currently looks in the Madden world. The Browns are 6-5-1. The Bengals are 6-5-1. They tie each other. The Ravens are 6-7. Baltimore, like Cleveland, with a very difficult schedule this year, but that definitely surprises me. Steelers in the cellar at 5-7. Now, let me know who you got, though. Browns versus Steelers before we start the Madden sim. Get in the comment section below. Give me a B for Browns. I don't want to see a single S for Steelers. Start spamming B. Let's take over the comment section with B's for Browns. All right, here we go. Browns at Steelers. Mid-December, December 8th. So it's going to be chilly, no doubt about it. Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Now, what you guys are in for is a little surprise here. Justin Fields is starting for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Russell Wilson has led this team to 5 wins through 2/3 of the season, and Mike Tomlin decided, you know what? It is time for a change. So, we've got Justin Fields playing and starting for the Pittsburgh Steelers, going up against the Cleveland Browns. Snowy day in western Pennsylvania, but everyone's fired up. Watson's giving knuckles. Tomlin's chilly. Let's go, Brownies. Here we go. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woof, woof. Justin Fields from Georgia, went to Ohio State, played for the Bears. Not his first time playing in these types of conditions. Watson, no doubt about it, does not prefer the cold weather. From Georgia, went to Clemson, went to Houston. But you know what? I've got faith. I've got faith. Getting ready for kickoff here between Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Super chats rolling in as we do this during our live show. So we'll throw those on periodically during the show. Here we go. Tomlin looking thin. Not that he's a fat guy, but looking thin. I don't appreciate how much Madden does, like, build-up wise. Nyheim Hines is my mortal enemy in this game. If you know, you know. But man, do I just salivate at the opportunity for Cleveland to sweep Pittsburgh this year. Nyheim Hines, don't let me down. He let me down. It is Madden 24 with Madden 25 rosters, but I don't know is why they gave Zadarius Smith number 52. That's a very weird thing. But here we go. As Watson and company come onto the field, James Harper with a $5 super chat. Can't make it to the meet and greet. PD, buy yourself a beer. James, really appreciate that. If you are able to come, it'd be awesome to get to kind of meet and see some of the great viewers of this channel. But James, I appreciate that. And I'll be sure to take a picture and send it to you or put it in the show following the meet and greet. First and 10 for the Browns at their own 23-yard line. Quick throw over the middle is caught. Jerry Jeudy, gain of 9. 2nd and 1. 2nd and 1. Cleveland trying to put together a strong start to this game. Now that the Amari Cooper contract is done in real time, all the previous 12 games where I talk about the Cooper deal hopefully getting done, I'm going to sound pretty silly when people watch those in a few months. As Watson finds an open man, left sideline, first down Brownies, let's go. Nick Chubb on the receiving end. Look at the bench. They love it. Tomlin hates it. First down Cleveland, they're already out to midfield. Couple of good throws from Deshaun Watson. At their own 45, Watson lining up under center, takes the snap, run for Chubb, looking for room. Chubb gets a block. Chubb has the first down. Great patience by number 24, Cleveland. No. Chubb's banged up. He looks frustrated. Not in Pittsburgh again. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but Chubb, on the first carry, appeared to kind of bang up his lower back. Hopefully he's okay and he can come back in the game, or nothing long term. 1st and 10. Watson now lining up at the Pittsburgh 44. Snap. Handoff. No, it's a play fake. Watson with time. Rolling to his right. He'll tuck it and run. Watson diving forward. Picks up 4 yards. Justin Fields anxiously awaiting his first opportunity to step on the field today. 2nd and 6. Deshaun Watson lining up under center at the Pittsburgh 40. Takes the snap. It's a handoff for Jerome Ford. Damn it. And now he's injured, it looks like. Oh, my goodness. It looked like Jerome Ford was banged up on that last play. So I guess we'll get a look at Deontay Foreman. Third and 6. Snap to Watson. Play fake. Watson with time. Throwing. Open man first down. Amari Cooper. Yes. Knocking on the red zone door. Coop. Let's go. Yeah. We have an actual Coop in this office. He's going to run through the door. First down, Brownies. Nice opening drive from Cleveland. I mean, a couple of first downs, converting on a 3rd down, too, just to show that you can deal with the pressure. Chewing up a lot of clock. God, you got to love that. Watson, 1st and 10. We'll check it down. This is caught. Gain of 8. Elijah Moore. Would you rather score a touchdown on, like, the 3rd play or the 10th play of the opening drive? I want the 10th, and here's why. I want the other team to know we can manhandle you. Whereas if it's the 3rd one, they can just kind of wipe it away and go, they got lucky.
That's a good point.
2nd and 2. Watson through the air again. It is caught. 1st and goal. Amari Cooper inside the 5. Second grab of the drive for Coop. And you know what? That Steelers offense is just getting chilly on the bench. Just getting colder by the minute. I formation under center. I don't know if Chubb or Foreman's returned. It's a handoff, and that's Deontay Foreman chugging in for the end zone. Let's go. Touchdown, Brownies. Deontay Foreman filling in for Nick Chubb and Jerome Ford. Cleveland, they strike first. 7-0 good guys. Show me those TDs. Let's go. American Cheese, Kathy Sedlecki, James Harper, cool guy. If we get this version of Deshaun Watson this year, it's over. Very impressive opening drive from the Browns offense. Hopkins tacks on the extra point. 7-0 Cleveland after 4 minutes in Pittsburgh. Now we get a look at this Browns defense going up against Justin Fields and the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. TD's coming in from Ray Bidding, from Terrence G, cool guy, Debbie. Christopher, Deontay Foreman is wearing number 27. I agree that kind of looked like Kareem Hunt with the hair and just getting touchdowns. Kickoff by Bojorquez will be returned across the 20, approaching the 25, stopped just short of it. So here comes Justin Fields. Standing in place of Russell Wilson, who was benched after a Pittsburgh Steelers 5-7 start to the season. Steelers trying to find maybe something with Fields for the future. I don't hate the move. You owe Russell Wilson such little money. If he's not your guy, pull the plug as quick as you want to. 1st and 10. Fields in the gun from his own 25. Here's the snap. Over the middle, it is caught. Gain a 1st down and some extra yardage. Martin Emerson getting beat on the play. Steelers have a fresh set of downs. Calvin Austin on the receiving end. 1st and 10. Out to their own 40. Snap to Fields pressuring, looking, finding a man. I think it's a first down, yeah. For a moment, I thought that might have been picked off, but no. I think that's Pat Fryermuth on the receiving end. So 2 nice plays by Fields to start this game. Have the Steelers across the 50-yard line. Tight throw. Browns defense got to wake up a little bit. 1st and 10. Under center. Fields takes the snap. It's a play fake. Checking it down. Caught. Najee Harris, gain of 5. Ooh, we have an injured Steeler on the play. One of their offensive linemen is down. Is that the rookie? Troy Fontenot? Maybe? I don't know. 2nd and 5. They've got Zach Frazier. They got James Daniels. They got the old Eagles guard, Sialamu. I can't remember how to pronounce his name. And Broderick Jones. 2nd and 5. Under center. Fields. Takes the snap. Run. Najee Harris slips out of a tackle. Picks up the first. I don't know why I hate Najee Harris. I do. He sucks. I almost it's odd that I hate him because I would like for him to get as many touches as possible for Pittsburgh because I don't think he's good at all. And Jaylen Warren is better, but they don't know that. And they should. 1st and 10 for Fields. Pocket closing. Incomplete pass. Pressure was mounting. Fields could not connect. 2nd down and 10. Second and 10 for this Pittsburgh offense. Fields, empty set, snap. Throwing to the right side. That is incomplete. I'm not sure why. I mean, didn't the guy look wide open to you guys? I thought for sure that'd be a quick 10-yard pickup on a curl route. Oh, there's Troy Fontenot. He's number 75. I don't know who got injured then. 3rd and 10. Snap to Fields. Play fake. Pressure. Throw. Caught. First down. Damn it. If we're ranking top 5 worst feelings, it's flight getting delayed, and it's giving up a conversion on 3rd and long. In that order, too. Yeah. I'll also add in, are they going to get the snap off in time? No, maybe. They do. Last play of the first quarter. Wilson. The third thing is when your food doesn't come for a while and you ask your server and they give that face of, oh, shit. I forgot to put it in. Like, oh, you haven't gotten your, when they say you haven't gotten your food yet, it's like, no. I'm surprised you don't know that already. I thought that'd be your responsibility. Those are the 3 worst feelings. 2nd and 5 for Pittsburgh to start the second quarter. Trying to formulate a response to a Deontay Foreman touchdown plunge on the opening drive for Cleveland. Fields takes the shotgun snap. He's got time. He's going to run with it now. Fields with his legs is going to get stopped, but it'll still be a 1st and goal situation now. Justin Fields picking up the first down using his 2 legs, and the Steelers have 1st and goal. We have now entered the stage of forget the touchdown or forget the field goal, just don't give up the touchdown. I formation. Snap. Play fake. Fields rolling to his right. He's going to run with it. He's not going to go very far with it, though. And now he's dead. Lost a yard, maybe? No gain at the very least. 2nd and goal. Steve Levy. Fields trying to keep the play alive. And now he's dead. Never gets old for me. Bring back the old Monday Night Football crew. It was so bad, it was entertaining. 2nd and goal. Snap to Fields. Pistol. Run. And this will be... Oh, wow. It looked like Najee Harris had a red carpet to the end zone. I don't know who jumped up into that hole, but it closed quickly. 3rd and goal. Span those 3s. Let's get a stop here. Let's salvage this drive defensively. 3rd and goal at the goal line. Fields under center. Snap. Handoff. Oh, easy touchdown. Harris walks it in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Damn it. That's what he had the last drive, or the last play. This time he actually scores. Takes him two cracks at it. That's why he sucks.
Nick Chubb, it only would have taken one crack.
Oh, without a doubt. Extra point will be coming in just a moment. It's always good. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We've been doing Madden watch parties all summer long. So if you're looking for a YouTube channel that's going to try to keep you informed and entertained all 12 months of the year, hit that sub button down below. We are back for the resumption of the first half. All even on the scoreboard. We're starting over 7-7. Return across the 10. Do I even have to say anything? Do I even have to say a word? Here we go. Offense, I'm sorry. Could have had 5 extra yards. No. I can't wait to see what these new kick return rules look like. All right, here we go. Watson in the pistol at his own 20. All even at 7. First play, throwing over the middle, and a gain of 6. I couldn't really tell who was in at running back. I think it might have been Jerome Ford. He went down, and Chubb went down. I don't think that's Deontay Foreman in the backfield. Snap and a run, and up the middle, and a nice gain of 7 yards. Oh, is that Nick Chubb? I think that might be. I think I saw a 2-4. Couldn't tell if it was a 3-4 or 2-4. But I think Chubb is back. Yeah, Nick Chubb's back. Okay. Exited briefly with a back injury, back in the game. 1st and 10. Watson takes the snap, drops back. Will climb the pocket. He'll hold it and run. Slide, Deshaun. Damn it. 1st down. Sacrifice 2 yards. Keep yourself healthy. 1st and 10. Watson throwing. Oh, man. Was he open? Throw just wasn't on target, it looked like. Grant Delpit's trying to keep warm. He's freezing his ass off. LSU guy, Louisiana boy. This is not ideal temperatures for him. Back in the gun, 2nd and 10. Snap for Deshaun. Throw over the middle. That's caught. 1st down. There we go. David Njoku, the Chief. Num, 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 num. 1st down. I am excited for Watson this year if he plays even 80% to the level he's played at in Madden this season. 1st down, Cleveland. We're approaching the 2-minute warning, so no real rush with all 3 timeouts. You don't want to give Pittsburgh any time. Remember, the Steelers do get the ball to start the second half. Watson throwing over the middle. That's intercepted. Oh, my God, that's picked off. Intercepted. 1st and 10, Pittsburgh. Had a man, just underthrew him. I'm not really sure what happened. Deontay Jackson, isn't he the guy that came over the Deontay Johnson trade? He just jumps this route in front of Amari Cooper, and it's an easy pick. So that's Watson's first pick in a while in the Madden world. I will add that to his defense, but it comes at a price. Steelers with the ball, 3 timeouts, 2-minute warning, an opportunity to take the lead, and they get the ball to start the second half. Big sequence coming up for this Browns defense. At their own 38, Fields will throw to the left. This is caught, first down. A big gain on 1st and 10, and Pittsburgh's already across the 50. 2-minute warning. 7-all at Acrisure Stadium. I wonder why a company like Acrisure would pay for the naming rights when you know everyone's going to call it Heinz Field. Like, let someone else waste their money. 1st and 10, it's a screen. There's blockers for Harris, and he's going to sidestep one tackler and pick up 9 yards. He does not get out of bounds, though, which is probably actually good for Pittsburgh. They want to try and kill as much time, not to give the Browns any time if they were to score. In field goal range now. Fields throwing to the left sideline. That's called first down. Pickens moving the chains. First catch of the day for the second-round pick out of Georgia. Snap to Justin Fields on 1st and 10. He throws to the left sideline. This is caught, gain of 5, and getting out of bounds to stop the clock with a little over a minute to go. Watson can only look from the sideline, trying to repent for his mistake the next time on the field. But for now, it's up to his defense to make up for his error. 2nd and 5. Snap to Fields. His throw is caught inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal, Pittsburgh. Minute to go, and the Steelers call their first timeout. It's a nice throw and catch between Fields and Calvin Austin, who's going to be in for a large role this year. The Steelers lost Deontay Johnson and Allen Robinson. Didn't really bring anyone in of note, so everyone's going to have an opportunity to get some more snaps. Here's your 1st and goal from Fields, and he is taken down. Looks like Shelby Harris got to him. No gain on the play, 2nd and goal. Can the Browns limit the damage to a field goal here? Try and avoid the touchdown and the opportunity for the Pittsburgh Steelers to double their lead with the opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Here's a snap. Fields climbing the pocket. He'll run it in. No! He is stopped at the 5, and another timeout called by Pittsburgh. 37 seconds remaining, and we have 3rd and goal on the other side of this break. Need a stop. Steelers scored on 3rd and goal last time. It came from the 1-yard line. Span those threes. Let's go. Like Cool Guy, like James. Empty set for Justin. Snap. Pressure. All-out blitz. They get to him. Let's go. Schultz dials up the heat, and it pays off. 4th and goal. It looks like maybe JOK was a part of the charge. Indeed, he was. So the Steelers are going to be forced to settle for a 30-yard field goal with 20 seconds remaining in the first half. Kick is up, and it is surely good. No one's ever missed in Madden. Unless you are the Raiders kicker. Yeah. All right. Before they return for the last 20 seconds of the half, if you want to get yourself an Amari Cooper jersey like I have on right now, go to chatsports.com/Cooper jersey. We put this link in the comments and description of today's video. But with the Amari Cooper restructured news in recent memory, swag yourself out with a brand new Amari Cooper jersey. Chatsports.com/Cooper jersey. Here we go. Every day I wake up and I face these demons, which are Nyheim Hines returning kicks. Short kick, and he still can't get to the 25. I think he might have muffed it initially. It looked like he didn't get a good, clean catch. So, under 20 seconds to go, we'll have 1st and 10 Browns. They do have 2 timeouts. They called one earlier. I missed it. Must have been after the sack. Yeah. So, what can the Browns do with 16 seconds and 2 timeouts? Here's a snap to Watson, a run for Chubb, and he's not going to get much yardage. Just 6 yards, and that's likely going to be the last play of the half. So, after 12 minutes of Madden football from Pittsburgh, it's 10-7 Steelers. Browns scored first, 10 unanswered from Pittsburgh, and the Browns have some work cut out for them in the last 2 quarters of the game. Remember, subscribe to the channel, by the way, if you're looking for more Browns content throughout the entire preseason, training camp, going into the regular season. Or if you're watching this in December, subscribe because hopefully at this moment, the Browns are a 10-win team, 9-win team. That seems appropriate for where we are in the calendar. I'll go 9-win team. I don't want to set the bar too high. So hopefully you're watching a 9-win team right now getting set for this matchup with Pittsburgh Steelers. Halftime break is over. It will be Pittsburgh's ball to begin the second half. The Browns defense needs to make a bit of a stop. They've given up 2 scoring drives so far. They're a little bit fortunate it's not 14-0, but JOK's blitz just wiped that away. Cordero Patterson back to return. Second time we've seen him today. If he gets past the 25, I'm going to have a BF. Okay, that actually makes me feel a lot better. He's just completely trucked down at the 18-yard line. Here comes Fields with the rest of the offense, 1st and 10, kind of backed up in their own territory. Come on, defense. Someone's got to make a play. Justin Fields, outside of his last time on the field, has not been sacked. No real pressure from 95 yet. Someone needs to step up and make a play. Let's go. Let's get a stop, defense. Here's the snap and a run to the right side. Nice job. Only a 3-yard gain for Najee Harris. 2nd down and 7. At their own 21, Justin Fields continuing to command the offense. Will look to pass. Pressure, pressure. He'll evade it. He'll run with it. He'll get the 1st down with his legs. For a moment, it looked like the Browns had him in his sights, and then the very athletic quarterback takes off, and he gets the 1st. 1st and 10. Snap to Fields. It's a handoff for Harris, and he is taken down. 3-yard gain. Jordan Hicks, a part of the stop. Second down and 7. Under center. Snap to Fields. Completed. Gain of 6. Freiermuth, his second grab of the day, will set up 3rd and 1. Cleveland's got an opportunity to get off the field here. Spam those threes. Let's go. Let's get a stop. I'm catching myself almost falling asleep right now. I need someone to jolt me up a little bit. Snap. Run. Damn it, 1st down. Harris moves the chains. I mean, this is a big drive here. If the Pittsburgh Steelers put up a touchdown, they'll have a 10-point lead late in the 3rd quarter. Trace's Saints came down from 21 points. What was that it? Fields is going to go down. He's sacked, finally. Just a loss of 2 on the play. But every bit helps right now. 2nd and 12. 2nd sack of the day for the Browns defense. At their own 47, back in the gun like much of today. Snap to Justin. He'll check it down and a gain of 10. And that sets up another 3rd down. S for stop, 3 for third down, whatever tickles your fancy. Do one of the two. We need something going right now in the chat to get the mojo turned around. Justin Fields on third down. We'll hand it off. I'm going to... Najee Harris picks up about 8 yards and a fresh set of downs. We're still in that state of like, that's fine. Give up a field goal. Touchdown takes the lead. But we're being way too casual about just holding them to a field goal. Justin Fields takes the snap. He'll tuck it and run. And with his legs, he gets up about 15 yards and a fresh set of downs. I don't know who to blame. All I know is the Browns' defense in Madden is the most bipolar thing ever. Good one day, shit the next. Empty set. Fields looking, throwing. It's caught. It'll be a gain of about 9. Justin Fields on the day has been very accurate. He hasn't really pushed the envelope much, though. I mean, it's work, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Another empty set look for the Pittsburgh offense. Snap to Fields. He throws right side. That's intercepted! That's picked off! Denzel Ward the other way! Warden across the 40. Taken down at the 50. Denzel Ward. Let's go. Third interception of the season, I think, in Madden. Let's go. Big play. Big-time players make big-time plays. Just a bad throw from Fields. I'm not really sure who this ball is intended for, but Denzel Ward, the hero so far defensively. And the offense, they've got some life. Down 3, late in the third at midfield. Let's go. Man, could you imagine the numbers Denzel Ward would put up if he played a full season for once? He's had 2+ interceptions every single season, and he's always missed at least 4 games.
I mean, those extra 4 games can just build so much momentum, too.
Yeah. 1st and 10, geez, crackers. Cam Hayward just decked Nick Chubb for a loss of 4. Second and 14. 30 seconds to go in the third. At their own 46. Watson takes the snap. Watson throws to the right. It is caught. First down! Great yard after catchability by Elijah Moore. Could have been a gain of 4. Instead, he turns in a fresh set of downs. Joey Porter could not wrap up. And that will bring us to the end of the third quarter. Cleveland with the football, down 3 in enemy territory. Could it get any more AFC North than that? Let's go. Fourth quarter time. At the Steelers 39, Deshaun Watson stands in the shotgun formation. Snap. Pocket collapsing, throwing. Caught? Caught? No. I'm not quite sure if he caught it but was out of bounds or he never made the catch to begin with. For now, it's 2nd and 10. Maybe we see a booth review. JOK's giving out knuckles. No challenge. 2nd and 10. Deshaun. All the time in the world, finds a crossing Nick Chubb and gains 8 yards that way. And that brings up 3rd and 2. You know, we haven't seen a run play in a while. I think you can just hand this one off to Nick Chubb right here. 3rd and short, I'd put some trust in 24.
This is a good time for Nick Chubb to pop off for 10, 15 yards.
Under center, Watson. Bunch formation. It's a handoff to Chubb. He gets a block. I don't think he got it. No. He gets stopped 4th and inches. What do? Do you kick it or go for it? I'd go for it. I would just have faith in your ability to gain a couple of inches.
You have to go for it here.
Plus, you're at the 30. It'd be a 47-yarder. What's more likely, getting a few inches or converting a 47-yarder?
In the snow, nonetheless.
It may very well be gaining a few inches. Instead, it'll be a 46-yard field, 46-yard field goal. And I think it's good. So we are tied. Oh, boy. All even up at 10. I usually am the minister of take the points, but I would like to have seen Ken Dorsey or Stefanski go for it in that situation. So the Browns even up the score. They cash in on the Denzel Ward pick. And now Justin Fields and the Steelers will have a chance to reclaim the lead. Kickoff, return across the 10, out to the 20, and stopped before the 25. So here comes Fields. He was very sharp today up until that pick. Need a big stop indeed, Trace. 1st and 10. Roman Wilson in the huddle already? I didn't realize that's how thin the Steelers receiver room was. 1st down. It's a run for Najee. He is going to slip out of a tackle or two. He'll bounce around for 8 yards. Should have been a gain of none, but he took my pregame message to him very seriously. He is out to prove me wrong. Can't fault him for that. I still think he sucks, though. Where will Najee Harris play in 2025?
One good game. Come on.
2nd and 2. Throw to the right side is caught. 1st down. What if he goes to Arizona and just like James Conner, just has a better portion of his career with his 2nd team than his 1st?
Who says no? Or the Cowboys.
Or the Cowboys. 1st down and 10, but that would require them to sign a free agent. And they did not do that last year. Fields drops back. 1st down. Throw to the left side is caught. Just a gain of 3. A little over 4 minutes to go. But under 5 minutes, the clock will stop if you go out of bounds. Approaching midfield on their half of the 50, though. 2nd and 7. Fields takes the snap. 4-man rush. Will dump it off on a crossing route. Open man 1st down, Pat Freiermuth. He gains about 15 yards, and the Steelers are on Cleveland's half of the 50. Oh. Oh, we don't need to do this, guys. We don't need to do this. Leave Ronnie Hickman alone. Also, I don't really know if it's much of a stiff arm if you still get tackled in the same act of doing it. It's not like he ran for an additional 10 yards. Still outside of field goal range. Snap to Fields. He'll throw over the middle. Now they're in field goal range. Ooh, flag, 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 flag. Can we finally get our first holding? Oh, it's going to be a face mask. Thornhill. Add on 15 yards. This will move Pittsburgh inside the red zone. Or right to it, at least. Yeah. All the way to the 12. I thought we'd get our first holding. Run for Harris. He is stopped. Where do you guys stand on letting them score a touchdown here? I am against it. I still think there is an opportunity to hold him to a field goal.
Yeah, if you can get him to 3rd down pretty quick here, or 4th down, that's good news.
If you were down 1, I would push them into the end zone because then a field goal would require a touchdown still, as they get a touchdown anyway. Harris plunges it in. Well, Watson, you want to win the city of Cleveland over? Rip out the heart of Steelers fans in Pittsburgh. Here we go. Lock it up. Extra point. Imagine if we get our first missed extra point of the season here. No. 17-10 Pittsburgh. Sean Watson has all the time in the world, 3 timeouts, 2-minute warning, and 3+ minutes on the game clock. It'll be up to the offense to execute. Chris Boswell will kick it off. Naheem Hines, if there's a time to prove me wrong, it is now. Oh, thank God.
He proved you wrong.
Woo! You're right. That was really the best outcome I could have asked for. So first down for the Browns at their own 25-yard line. 3 minutes and change, 3 timeouts, 2-minute warning, trailing 17-10. We are in for a finish. Let's go offense. Come on. A lot of time left. Time is not a factor in my eyes right now. Although Madden has horrible time management. Watson just takes what's in front of him. It's a gain of 6 to Elijah Moore. 2nd down and 4. Let's get a little bit of pep in our step, though, boys. What do you say? I don't think we need to take our sweet time. Would have preferred a couple of plays before the 2-minute warning. Now we're looking at maybe just 2 plays. Watson will hand it off. Chubb running. Oh, my God. The ground game has just not been there today. He loses a yard. Highsmith a part of the problem. Just hasn't worked. Hasn't worked since the first quarter, really. Which is kind of funny because the Browns' only touchdown came on the ground. 3rd and 5. Last play before the 2-minute warning. What are you doing, guys? Got to snap the ball there. Got to take advantage of the clock stopping. I'm more pissed at the Madden creators. How do you not program it in? Snap the ball. Watson finds a man. Let's go. All the way out to the 50. Jerry Jeudy. If this is a holding, we're ending the game. You got to be shitting me. Now they call a hold? After Myles Garrett was put in a coffin all day? 3rd and 15's broken up. Had a decent step, just good play by Cam Sutton. 4th down and 15. Sean Watson. Not do or die, but pretty close to it. It's a screen. There is a flag. Ooh. Could this be unnecessary roughness? It is! Automatic first down. Cam Hayward with an all-time dumb mistake. Browns have some life. They're out to their own 35. Still need a touchdown. Watson throws. This is caught. Gain of 6. Listen, these gains of 6s are not going to work for long. At some point, you're going to need a bigger play. 2nd and 4. Got to start going a little bit more vertical with it. All 3 timeouts still remaining. Under 90 seconds to go. Watson will be get pressured. He'll throw it. Finds a man. Amari Cooper. Let's go. No. David Njoku. The Chief coming together with back-to-back big grabs. Cleveland out across the 50. Great throw by Watson. He's under duress. He's about to get sacked, but he still is able to rifle off a great throw across his body. Watson Throwing right side. Caught Jerry Jeudy. Breaking free. Jeudy inside the red zone. Clock's ticking, which I don't really mind, but the Browns do. They call their first timeout. Maybe just to kind of catch their breath a little bit, but first down, Cleveland. Browns fans who made the road trip are pumped up. Crickets from the home crowd. Crickets. First and 10. At the 13. Watson back in the gun. Down 7, takes the snap, play fake. He will run with it. Watson has some snow in front of him. He gets about 8 yards, and they call their second timeout. Second down and 2. You've got one more timeout. I don't think you can run the football, though, because if you run the football, you got to call a timeout. And in that situation, you have no timeouts remaining, which means if you were to get sacked or tackled in bounds, you'd have nothing to stop the clock. Second and 2. It's going to be a throw. Strike. End zone. Touchdown, Amari Cooper. Let's go. Let's go. Coop. I think we're overtime bound. I think we are overtime bound. Okay. 17 all with the extra point ensuing, but they've never missed an extra point. Browns have been to overtime once this season, resulted in a draw with the Bengals. $17 all. There is still some time on the clock. 3 timeouts remaining, under 40 seconds. Return by Cordell Patterson is taken down at the 25. You're the Steelers here. How aggressive do you want to be? You could just hand it off, go to overtime, or you can try and get in field goal range. I always feel like teams are way too timid in these situations. If you only need a field goal, why not try and pick up some yardage through the air? At the 25, Fields will drop back to pass. He throws. That's incomplete. Second down and 10. Target line for Chris Boswell set at the 40, but these conditions might change that. Second down and 10. Clutch drive by Watson last timeout. It's a run for Najee Harris. He is going to fall forward, gain a 3, and that may be the last play of regulation. We'll see how quick the Steelers are to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 7 awaits them. Might get a playoff. They might not. Let's see. No. Oh, they do. Last play of the game. Oh, God, I don't like that at all. Big pickup for Najee, but that's all she wrote. So we are on to overtime. 17 all. For the second time this season, Browns fans get some free football. Looks like the Steelers won the coin toss. All right, while they do the coin toss, make sure to get yourself an Amari Cooper jersey. If you want to get yourself some new Browns gear for this upcoming season, go to chatsports.com/Cooper jersey. I put that link in the comments and description of today's video. So from what I saw, the Steelers won the coin toss, or I guess the Browns actually lost the coin toss, and the Steelers elected to receive. So it will be Pittsburgh's ball first. Now, the annoying thing with Madden overtime is that it's not real NFL overtime. They'll go into double overtime, but we do not. If no one scores or we're tied after overtime, that's the game. Return for the Steelers. And that brings out Justin Fields and company. I still believe, even though in the Madden overtime, touchdown wins the game. Field goal, the Browns get a chance to respond. Come on, defense. Ty Man, the Buckeyes here. Ty Man, where have you been? We were worried about you, Ty Man. 1st and 10. It's a handoff to Harris. That just looked like a bit of a broken play. They made Najee Harris like Barry Sanders in this game. He's taken way too many runs that should be no gain for 6 yards. 2nd down and 4. Fields in the gun. Snap. Pressure coming. Throws off target. 3rd down. We haven't seen a lot of 3rd downs, I feel like, this game. I mean, there have been times, but spam those threes. Get the ball back offensively. Put this game away. But it starts this play. Spam those threes. 3rd and 4. Empty set. Fields will throw. It's caught. 1st down. Yeah. Pickens moves the sticks. There were 2 lines on the field. You notice that? I was like, wait, I think that's the 1st down line, but I don't know what that second orange line is. The one at the 40. That was very confusing. I didn't appreciate that. Fields. Sacked! Fumble! Fumble! Ball! Yes! Myles Garrett! A strip sack! Recovered by the Browns! 95 comes through! Look at him. Get around the edge. Ball comes loose. Who jumps on it? Who's the first guy to the football? Zadarius Smith cleans it up. And the Browns can win it with a field goal. Let's go. Someone in the chat did say earlier, Myles Garrett strip sack incoming. We get it. In overtime. You're at the Pittsburgh 31. I'd run it 3 straight plays here. I'd run it 3 straight plays. That also works to the same effect. Now I'd run it 2 straight plays. Good job, Judy. Run it. Run it, run it, run it. You're at the Steelers. What is it? 23-yard line. Snap. Okay, I don't appreciate this, but fine. It works. 1st down. Cooper. I would actually kick the field goal right now. If you want, you can center it to a specific hash mark or the middle that the kicker prefers, but we don't need to mess around anymore. Or we do. They're going to go for the touchdown. That's the thing, though. They're not going to kick it until it's 4th.
When it's a rivalry game?
Run, Chubb, left side.
Go to the
10.
middle.
They're going to want the touchdown. Which, I mean, it's Madden. Ball security. Got to be at a premium right now.
It's also the Steelers, so run it up on them.
From the 10, under center. Please run it again. Or not. Watson will run it himself. Watson, 1st and goal. I don't like that, though. That's prime quarterback fumble territory. You kind of get a little bit loose with the football near the goal line. 1st and goal. Come on. I mean, we know how this is going to end, don't we? Give me a Nick Chubb plunge right now. Oh, this is pure gold into the... Damn it. Avenge the injury with an overtime touchdown. I am only a little afraid if they don't score before the end of the 1st overtime, they'll just go into the 2nd overtime. Have a little bit of pep in your step, boys. 2nd and goal, I formation. from the 2. Handoff. No. Play fake. Watson. He's sacked. 3rd and goal. How much more do you guys want to mess around here?
Kick the field goal now.
3rd and goal. I mean, they should have kicked the field goal 5 plays ago. But if they insist, under center, Watson will get sacked again. 4th and goal. Now just kick the field goal and win the game. Frymuth's giving high fives like they actually did something. I mean, this has to be to win the game, is it? Okay, yeah. Steelers trying to ice Dustin Hopkins. Browns, a win away from improving to 7-5-1. Not too shabby. That's definitely going to keep you in the thick of the playoff race. It's officially a 25-yarder from the left hash. The kick is up. Good! Hopkins! Let's go! Browns win! Browns win! Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Woo, woo. Let's go. Browns end it on a walk-off field goal in overtime. Myles Garrett, the savior, strip sack in overtime, and Watson and the offense tee it up for Hopkins. Let's go. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Get yourself the best Browns content all year long. We'll have more Madden simulations every Tuesday throughout the summer. Appreciate everyone for watching with us. Let's go, Brownies. Let's go. Span those W's. All right, boys and girls. That will do it for us on our live show today. Quick PSA, Browns Report meet and greet Thursday, August 1, 12 Eastern at Masthead Brewing in downtown Cleveland. Hope you can make it, but go Brownies in the meantime.